Hey yo, it's your boy Kaliko. Today on Is It Trash or Should You Spend That Cash, we're going to talk about Dolittle. Dolittle stars Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr., and they're both fantastic actors. They both have no problem encompassing whatever role that they're playing in. Now, there's some other people inside of this movie, but most of them are CGI characters, and it's really Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. that carry this story. Dolittle starts off with the great doctor being reclusive and not wanting to have anything to do with humans. And when you first go in and when it first shows us the doc's house, it's very much a Back to the Future-esque sort of opening with contraptions and cool little idea things on making his life easier, even though machines and electricity wasn't really around back then at the time this movie is set in. And the first thing that I liked about the movie is that it started off when it started off in the first 5-10 minutes. There was a scene where Robert Downey Jr. is doing surgery on a squirrel, and it's showing Tom Holland's perception as opposed to what's going on inside of the room. And instead of it being based off of magic on how Dr. Dolittle is talking to the animals, it was based off of he understood their sounds in order to recreate them so that he could speak with them. And it would sort of go back and forth between Holland's perception and Dolittle's perception. And that was a really good part of the movie. And after that part was over, that was the end of the good parts of the movie. Just to let you know, in my mind, this movie's trash. Don't waste your money. Don't take your kids to see it. Wait for it to be on Netflix. Let them watch it themselves. Go and see anything else. Go and see Frozen 2 a second time. I haven't seen that movie, but it has to be better than this. Anything has to be better than this. This has got to be the worst movie I've seen in a year. Spoiler alert. It's a bad frickin' movie. Don't waste your money on this movie. I hope my kids watch this review so they don't go watch that. Go watch Spies in Disguise or anything else, and I'm going to get into it right now. The script has got to be one of the worst scripts that's ever been in Hollywood. I don't know who they had writing this dialogue, but the dialogue is absolute hot garbage. The first 5 or 10 minutes of the movie, 90% of Robert Downey Jr.'s words, when he says them, his face is nowhere on screen, or his back is to the camera, or, I mean, they had to have rewritten so much dialogue in this, especially in the beginning of the movie, and not wanted to reshoot it because the movie was such hot garbage, that they just put it in voiceover to where you couldn't even see Downey Jr. talking, and it was really, really evident. The CGI in the movie is very lackluster. Like, if for a movie that is 90% CGI, it really feels like this movie was rushed out the gate to get it in front of people. Or like whoever was making it was like, hey man, this movie's for 6-year-olds. They won't even notice. Like, it's so patronizing to the audience in that it didn't care to be good. Like, this movie did not care to be good. I just recently saw Robert Downey Jr. while I was doing my walks. I listened to Robert Downey Jr. I didn't see him. I listened to him on the Joe Rogan podcast. And I really was expecting something out of this movie. I went in there thinking I was going to watch a good kids movie that, you know, it might miss on a couple, but it's got Tom Holland and it's got Robert Downey Jr. and it's probably going to be an alright movie. That was my thought process. No, it's not. It's a horrible movie. This is garbage, hot garbage. I don't understand how a movie house is using, they probably paid Robert Downey Jr. $40 million to be in this movie. At least $20 million, right? I mean, he had to be a big fat paycheck to be in this movie because this movie is bad. Who convinced these actors to be in this movie? Who didn't write the script well enough? Who picked the people that chose the dialogue? Because, for instance, there's a part in this movie where apparently, even though they're like trying to act like it's not magic and that this is a learned skill, that the doctor sticks his head into a tank to talk to an octopus. And the octopus's response is, when the doctor asks him the question, snitches get stitches. Where the hell does this dialogue come into a movie that's supposed to be based like, you know, steam engine time? And at first I thought this movie was, you know, pre that. When they get on a ship, Dr. Dolittle's ship is a wooden sailing ship, and then the Royal Navy ship that is chasing them down is an iron steam engine ship. And I mean, it's supposed to be like a giant iron ship. It's like the Titanic with guns on it. It's crazy. The thought process that's in this movie makes no sense whatsoever. As far as a storyline goes, it is a classic trope garbage storyline to where it's an adventure flick and you start at one place and you're going to have to go on a sea voyage and there's one stop in between and then you're at the final destination. There's no growth in this movie at all, although it's supposed to show some growth with with Robert Downey Jr. and playing Dolittle, and it's supposed to teach you about it's okay to be afraid and being brave is doing it even though you're afraid, but it misses everywhere, all over the place. There's a scene where Dolittle is chained up in a lion's den or in a tiger's den, sort of Daniel in the lion's den sort of idea, to where, you know, the guy he pissed off is going to feed him to this tiger. And the tiger is the worst CGI in the movie. The way this thing moves is nothing like a real tiger. And they're in such a small enclosed space that Dolittle trying to get away from the tiger is not even cartoonish, it's buffoonish. It is just a horrible, bad joke played on the audience that would actually spend the money to go and watch this movie. Now, I have not been looking at the reviews anymore when I go to watch a movie. I've been deciding that I wanted to just go and watch a movie and then give it my review if I have the time with what other stuff I have going on, which this movie review shouldn't take too long because this movie is so bad. I'm not going to waste any time. I don't care about spoilers. I'm just telling you, don't spend your money on this. If you have a kid that you want to take to the movies, take them to see anything else. The animals in the movie are supposed to be sort of chaotic and a little bit off kilter, and that doesn't work. Like, it just doesn't work. Any of the execution in this movie does not work. It was really, really poorly executed on every single front. It was like they didn't want to finally polish any part of this movie. And even Robert Downey Jr.'s character, it's okay. Robert Downey Jr. does a great job of playing him, but the accent and the voice inflection is horrible. It was a monotone mess coming out of him. Like, he's believable in that he can act in anything and be believable, and I think Tom Holland is on that page now too. Tom Holland is probably the best part of this movie is Tom Holland and Tom Holland's character, because the rest of the movie is so bad. Don't spend your money. Don't waste it. If you're really the giant fan of Dr. Dolittle or Dolittle stories or whatever, go back and watch Eddie Murphy's movies. They're way better than this. I mean, I don't understand how a movie today versus a movie that was made in the 90s, and I think the movie made in the 90s even had to use some CGI in it, right? I mean, it was better CGI then than what they're using now. There were parts of this movie where the CGI is so bad, they just made the movie screen blurry. And I got lucky. I watched this movie really late last night. Like, I went and saw 2 movies last night. I ran out of here at 7 o'clock after it was dark and I got everything else done. I couldn't do any more here. And I hauled my butt to the movie theater and I missed the first movie I wanted to see, which was Dr. Dolittle. And so I watched the second movie that was a half a mile down the road. And then after that, I watched Dr. Dolittle. Or it's not Doctor, it's just Dolittle. Dolittle. This movie does little. It does really, really little. It does the littlest it possibly can. You want to watch something that has talking animals in it and has really good looking CGI effects and is believable in its tropes, watch His Dark Material on HBO. I just recently seen this, and this is really good. Dolittle is really bad. I don't even like talking about it that much, but to tell you the truth, all of the movie reviews I've done so far have been about great movies. And now I have like 4 movies, maybe 5 movies under my belt that I haven't done reviews about. And I really enjoyed 2 of them. And I think one guy deserves an Oscar. And those guys are not in this movie. This movie's hot garbage. Is it trash or should you spend that cash? It's trash. It's totally trash. Don't watch it. You don't want to see this movie. This movie's bad. The premise is generic. The execution is poor. The parts that are not in CGI look like you're standing in a Disney park. Like they're just not done very well in any way, shape, or form. The acting doesn't even matter because the rest of the movie is so bad that the acting doesn't even matter. And I think I even skipped what the movie is about in this review because I'm just so upset with how bad the movie is. But I'll tell you right now, it's supposed to be about his pain, his lost love, and trying to save the Queen of England. Like, in general, that's what it's about, but it's really, really bad, and I don't think you should watch this movie. I was insulted by it over and over again. When I first went in to watch the movie, I was excited. I expected to see something that my kids would enjoy. I expected some kid/adult jokes that would be a little bit funny, but they weren't. None of them were. Like, I don't think there's even going to be little really silly kids laughing at this movie. I just don't. I think everybody's going to come out of there being like, what the hell did I spend my money on? So, is it trash? Should you spend that cash? I've said it a few times. It's trash. It's total trash. So I've probably been ranting for like 8 to 10 minutes, and this movie doesn't deserve any more than that, but I'm going to post this. I'm going to put some clips of the movie in and let you know. Don't waste that money, and I'll see you soon. I'm working on 2 other videos today so I can get them out immediately, and one of them has to do about rocks. Whoa! I love you for watching. I'll see you soon. Oh, crap. I have a computer that I have to put together that's in like 40 different parts, and it's not a tower computer, it's a laptop that I finally got the products to be able to fix it for. So I'm probably going to do another movie review for tomorrow, and I'm probably not going to be able to get that rock video done. But if I get this computer done, it's going to help me a lot with being able to do other stuff too. So I love you for watching. I'll see you soon.